Hello students, working with lesson 2.2, adding, subtracting, and multiplying polynomials. So as we do this, a couple of keys to our success today is we need to use the distributive property. We need to combine like terms where applicable and be very careful with your computation, meaning careful with addition and subtraction, multiplication, things that should be very basic to us. So to review, because these are things we've all done before, we've added polynomials in the past. So here's a polynomial, two terms makes it a binomial. Another binomial, when I add those two things together, it's as simple as adding their like terms. I take x plus 3x, which gives me 4x, and then I take 1 plus negative 3, the constants in that expression, and I end up with negative 2. So 4x minus 2, there's me adding two polynomials together. Doesn't seem so bad, right? When I am subtracting polynomials, one thing I like to remember is I take this negative sign, and because I'm subtracting both terms here, I think of it as distributing the negative sign to both terms. So I write this as negative 3x, and then negative 3, or the opposite of negative 3, this is going to become positive 3. So really I'm going to be adding a 3 at the end here. Now I've got this x plus 1 at the beginning, and I can just drop the parentheses once I've distributed the negative sign, add the like terms together. X and a negative 3x make for negative 2x, and 1 plus 3 is 4. So negative 2x plus 4 would be what I come up with right there. To multiply polynomials together, it's FOIL. I have to distribute each term in one to every term in the other. So as I FOIL this, x times 3x becomes 3x squared, and then x times negative 3 will be negative 3x, and then 1 times 3x is positive 3x, and finally 1 times negative 3 is negative 3. So after I've distributed all of these terms, and again I'll show you what just happened. We took x times 3x, and then x times negative 3, including the sign, and then 1 times 3x, and then 1 times negative 3, again including the sign. Once I'm finished FOILing or distributing every term, then I go ahead and combine the like terms. Well, negative 3x and positive 3x together makes for 0. So this expression, when simplified, will equal 3x squared minus 3. Oops, 3x squared minus 3. Continuing on, we've got a couple of problems here. We're asked to find the sum of the polynomials. So let's just adding things together. So the horizontal or vertical format is the only thing that I guess would be considered new, because otherwise we're just going to be adding like terms together. I'm pretty sure you know how to do that. So if the horizontal format means if they're written out horizontally, I'm just going to go hunting for like terms and put them together. For instance, I'll start with this, 2x cubed. Let's see, I'm adding, so I'm looking for other x cubed terms. Well, here's a 7x cubed, and it's adding, so I go ahead and just ignore the parentheses and add them together. End up with 9x cubed. Next term, let's hunt for 5x squared like terms. Do we have another x squared term anywhere? No, we don't, which means that negative 5x squared must be part of our final sum. I'll put it there. The x term comes next. I got a 2x here. I'm hunting for another one. 10x right there. 2x and 10x put together equals 12x. And then finally the constants in the problem. We've got a 17 and we've got a negative 3. Put those together, that'll be positive 14. Now the one thing that you'll notice is as I did that, I underlined every term as I used it, so that when I'm all done, I notice that all the terms have been accounted for. There's nothing that I missed, and I have got a correct answer right here. Now the vertical format is something that maybe you would choose to use if you remember adding numbers vertically in grade school. So what I mean by that is if I had to do something like this, 104 plus 83. Here's the vertical format. I line up the ones in the ones place together, and the tens place together, the hundreds place, etc. And then I add vertically. 4 plus 3 in the ones column is 7. 0 plus 8 in the tens column is 8, and 1 plus 0 in the hundreds column is 1. So that's vertical addition. I can do the same thing with polynomials. I'll take my first polynomial, rewrite it, and then line up the like terms right underneath it. So negative 4x squared will go here, and then 3x, and then negative 3. Now, if you're doing a worksheet where the problem's already written out for you, I wouldn't recommend this because it takes extra time. And maybe you'd want to just do the horizontal format. If you're copying this problem out of a textbook, perhaps, then it might be worthwhile to write it out in the vertical format again. I don't know that I'd rewrite it, but just to show you how it works, here we go. I've lined up the cube terms, the squared terms, the linear terms, and the constant terms. Now I just add vertically. Negative 3x cubed is negative 3x cubed, because there's nothing else to add to it. Negative 2x squared minus 4x squared is going to be negative 6x squared. 7x plus 3x is 10x. And finally, negative 3 is negative 3. So there you have it. That's adding some like terms, which is adding polynomials. Next video, we'll get into subtracting and multiplying.